Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Libras in mid-May? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the lovely Libra collective in mid-May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick for my good friends. What is happening? There we go. Cool. Yeah, this is a very lay low type of energy that I'm picking up right here in the front. I mean, it's a beautiful card. We see this lovely lady chilling in a pond with all the different swans. But to me, the biggest thing, it seems relaxed. It seems chill. It's like laying low. So that could be a good thing, depending on your situation. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So this is one of my favorite cards in this whole deck. I know I say that about a lot of cards, but I just feel like the aesthetics of it just really jump out to me, and that is part of the message as well. But the lady in the pond surrounded by the swans, and it looks like she's kind of wearing costume. So when I see this, I often feel like it's an energy that's like, I'm staying in my own lane. This is my lane. This is my bubble. This is where I am, and I will continue forward in that type of way. Now, I guess if we look at the rougher side of it, it can be an avoidant type of energy. I don't necessarily pick that up initially with this card. To me, it's kind of like, I'm in my lane, this is my lane, this is my comfort zone, and this is where I'm staying. Now, if this is someone you're connected to, this could be someone trying to avoid causing anger. This is someone that could be avoiding trying to cause problems. So if you've been going through difficulties, I like this because it's time to chill. That's the big vibe I pick up with this card, which I think is good. So again, the only real downside could be avoidance of some kind, right? And no judgment here when it comes to that. And then obviously with the aesthetics and her in the costume, this could represent doing something about your looks as well. So you might be changing something about how you present yourself to the world. So whether it's like the hair, whether it's the clothing, it's like I'm changing how I present myself. But we're just going to let her chill. She wants a little time by herself. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Libras. What's happening? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was very strategic in nature last week. The reading was titled They Have a Plan. Now, it could have been your energy, could have been another person's, but to me, it just felt like very step by step, very strategic. I do this, I do that, I do that. So again, whether that's another mode that you might be in where it's like, I'm taking the strategic approach with this situation. Cool. That looks good to me. Or again, it could be somebody else you're connected to where there's a method to the madness, if that makes sense. But just know that energy can bleed over for a couple weeks. We're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we'd be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Libra in mid-May. What is the vibe? Thank you. Cool. 6 of Cups. Yeah, this is an energy that has a lot of history. A lot of history. Could be a lot of memories. Let's get a couple more. Okay, Knight of Swords. That's one of your power cards. I'm not sure how I quite feel about this energy just yet, Libra, which could be a good thing, right? Like if I was feeling all antsy and nervous about it, I'd be like, okay, we need to watch out. But I feel quite neutral for some reason. Let's get one more. Okay. King of Swords. Yeah, the strategy. It's absolutely here. So 2 Libra power cards showing up right here on the back end. So we have an intriguing mixture of stuff, because not only am I picking up your energy, we're also picking up the energy of others. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and it tells us how the energy could flow. And we have the internal mixture. I was seeing that a lot in most of the fire signs, where we have a whole bunch of air and a little bit of water. The thing that these two share in common is they're inward facing types of energies, whereas like earth and fire, that's outward. Now, when it comes to the air, that's actually very, very good for a Libra reading because that is your power element, that is your comfort zone. Not to mention that these are also Libra power cards. So I think that that could be very good for the upcoming week, depending on what else shows up around it. But when I see air, I think of logic. It's very pragmatic. It's smart. It's intelligent. It could represent either giving or receiving information. So there could be a lot of different things that are, catching your curiosity, your wonder. Like, I wonder how this is going. I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder how this works. So there's a curiosity that I always get when there's an air heavy spread. It does focus heavily on the mindset, the thoughts. Um, Communication too, of course, but the only downside to air is that sometimes it could be prone to overthink, overanalyze, overcritique. Sometimes it could be cold and detached. And then right here on the front, we have water, which is the counterbalance to it. So it's like we have the heart and mind, heart and mind. Now, when it comes to the water, that's the matters of emotion, matters of the heart. So whether it's things or people, situations that we're emotionally invested in, that we care about. It could be artistic creativity and expression, which is a beautiful thing. But cups usually connect more to partnerships, right? And the card itself. But the downside to cups is sometimes matters of emotion can overwhelm us, right? Where it could just take us under, so to speak. And it's always waxing and waning back and forth. So we do have this little back and forth going on. Um, let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Six of Cups. Now, as I mentioned, this is a card that does have a lot of history tied into it. And we see these two young children, they're like giving each other a flower, they're bonding. So to me, yes, it could be soul ties, soul connections, friends, family, otherwise, right? Not every soul connection is a romantic partner. It could just be someone that we care deeply for, or someone where there's like a really long history. This card could even stretch back to like past lives and stuff like that. We're not going to go that whole route, right? That's something I would do in a personal reading. But with this, there's just a lot of history. So whenever I see this, if we're not talking about another person, you might be taking some trips down memory lane. That's a big thing. You might be a little extra sentimental than you normally are when this card is here. Like it's softer, cuddly types of feelings, which I think is nice. Looking back on the good times, that's a good thing with this card. Now, the downside to the Six of Cups is sometimes this could be someone that's kind of stuck there or just in the past a little too much. And just know that this card can absolutely represent something from the past popping back up, which I saw heavily in the Gemini reading. So I'm not saying that's definitely the case, but that's something to watch out for with the Six of Cups. But it's memories, it's the past, it's experiences that we've been through, aside from the whole soul tie, soul connection thing. Now, moving to the middle, we have one of the fastest moving cards in the whole entire deck. We have your power card himself, the Knight of Swords. Boom. And this energy shoots off like a rocket. Now, again, in my simplistic style, when we clarified, it could tell us something about you, something that's coming towards you, something you might be feeling. But remember, knights represent action and communication. So this could be a message, a talk of some kind potentially. And with the Knight of Swords, it comes in rapidly. The big thing with the Knight of Swords, it is very determined to see something through. When I decide it, I do it. When I say it, I follow through. That's usually a good thing. The downside to the Knight of Swords is sometimes it could be a little too aggressive. Sometimes it could be a little too pushy. Sometimes it could do things too quickly. So there could be various situations where Spirit is like, pace it, pace yourself, no rush. That's a big thing with the Knight of Swords because he can be confrontational too. That's something we do want to watch out for because you see his image right there. That's like very aggressive type of energy. Now, moving to the back, we have the more evolved version of the Knight of Swords because we get back there and we have the king himself. Now, the difference with the king is that they represent control of this specific suit. And remember, it's not gender specific. So these cards could represent you, could represent another air sign potentially. But the king of swords controls all these things that we've been speaking about. So whether it's the mind, whether it's the thought process, this is a huge card when it comes to strategy, planning, watching, observing, taking in information. That's a big thing with this. Like think of someone from the CIA. That's a big thing with the King of Swords. Not saying that he's a spy, but I'm just trying to give you, for instance. The King of Swords is honest, shrewd, to the point, extremely logical. The downside to the king, though, is that sometimes he could be cold, he could be mean, he could be very calculating in how he moves. And the King of Swords does often show up when there is either something that should be taken seriously or is serious. Whether it is a conversation, whether it's something from the past, whether it's something new that comes in, the King of Swords, when he sets his eyes on it, it's like, no, I'm taking this seriously. So we do want to see what's up with him, because this energy plays no games. That king will absolutely swing that sword if necessary. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Libra. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What's happening for the lovely Libras? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Cups. Let's see what that has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Six of Cups time. And also to mention, like, different court cards, Six of Cups, there's like other people's energy showing up in yours too. So let's see what's up. Huh. Okay. So we have the Five of Cups in the upright underneath this Six of Cups. It could potentially be an energy of regret here. And I'm not saying it's you, but like when I see the Six of Cups with the Five of Cups, either one, someone you are connected to could be going through a difficult or serious situation or a problem, right? Six of Cups, the bond, and then the Five of Cups, very sad, where it's like I feel their pain, they feel my pain. Very empathetic, right? Like I'm feeling what they're feeling. So there is this strong energetic intertwining that I'm picking up right here in the front. So just know that, like, if everything's fine and peaches and cream for you and you feel off, like it's like I'm feeling someone else's stuff. That's partially what I'm picking up here in the front. But the Six of Cups, Five of Cups, there's a regret here coming from somewhere, right? Where it's like, oh, I wish I could just try that again, or oh, I wish I could do that over. I don't know why it's coming up that way, and we're gonna have to see how the rest of this goes. So when I see that, it tells me that in this time, just be very cautious with whatever situation you're dealing with, even if nothing's wrong, right? Like even if everything's fine and you're going through the best period of your life. When I see the Six of Cups with the Five of Cups, it's like, just be cautious, right? Because don't do anything you're going to regret. Like that's kind of how this feels to me. So we're just going to keep moving. I do feel like it can be a warning for some of you, but I also feel that it's also beautiful, because like when you care for someone so deeply that you could feel what they feel and they feel what you feel, that's rare. That's rare. We're going to keep going. That's hyper specific. So again, only take that if it hits. But for some of you, if it's just like a baseline simple message, maybe someone you're connected to is going through a difficult situation or a problem. Let's keep moving. Let's go in on the Knight of Swords. We're going to see what that action has to say. Yeah, I don't know why that regret was showing up. So let's see why the Knight's here for my Libra friends. Quick, super quick. Okay. Very risky. Very, very risky business. So we have the Star in reverse, where it's like, I'm here for a fun time. I'm not here for a long time type of energy. Again, I'm not saying that specifically, but like when I see the Knight of Swords with Star in reverse, it's like, you know what? I got to live for now. I got to live for the moment. And I'm going to explain why. If you're connected to an Aquarius, these are huge Aquarius vibes, by the way. But the star in and of itself, usually in the upright, it represents wish fulfillment. It represents goals. But the biggest thing that I always say about the star, aside from the beautiful, lovely, hope-filled energy, is that to me, it's the future. So it's like we have the past and we have the future. The star to me is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a goal that I'm pushing for. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Knight of Swords, it's like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to live for now. So this could absolutely be an energy that like takes a leap, takes a risk, says, you know what, I don't have all the time in the world. I got to do something. I got to do it now. There's something I want to say it now, even if it's difficult. So it is an energy that's seizing the day, so to speak. This is getting hyper specific, Libra. Again, only take it how it hits for you. And again, this could be someone else's energy. It might not even be yours. But it's like, I regret this from the past. Screw it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to seize the day now. Where it's like I've let something like this happen before. I'm going to seize the day now. It's very specific. So we have like this balance of like past and future, or the past and the present. So we're just going to keep going. Again, I do have this energy where it's like, all right, nothing wrong with living for the day, living for the moment, seizing the day. That's all good stuff. I believe in it. No time like the present and all that stuff. But there is still this energy of just be cautious. Just be cautious. That's it. So we're going to keep moving over to the King of Swords. We're going to see what he has. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So yeah, there's very, very specific energy this week, Libra. So why is the King of Swords in the mix? Yeah, I do feel like that could be a warning in the center. So why is the King here? Thank you. Same result either way. That's super unique. So we have Temperance in reverse. This is absolutely an energy that's like not waiting, if that makes sense. So Temperance, big Sagittarius vibes. Archangel Michael, beautiful, love for spiritual protection. But what is Temperance usually doing? Calm, waiting, letting something settle. We have so much action here, like serious action happening from this point forward, right? Like this is like very reflective and inward facing. Then boom, boom, it's like action, action. It's like, nope, I'm going to do it now. Nope, I'm going to seize the day. It almost feels like it's in a rush. So for some Libras, I'm not saying it feels like you're losing time or whatever, but to me, it's like I feel rushed. I feel like I have to do something. I feel like I'm losing time. I feel like something needs to happen. And it needs to happen right now. It's like I got a fire under my butt to make something happen, right? Because the fire air combination, very explosive, right? This is like the spark plug on the back end. With Temperance in reverse under the King of Swords, it is a little more planned out than this energy in the center. That's one thing I can say, right? Like this one is much more spontaneous. Screw it, go with the flow. I'm diving in. The King of Swords is like, okay, well, I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to do it at some point. I'll plan it out, but might as well do it sooner rather than later. That's partially what I'm picking up here. So we have serious action going on right here on the back. Whether it's coming from you, whether it's coming from someone else, it is absolutely like a seize the day type of energy that I'm picking up. And normally when I see risky vibes like this, I think I've seen it in the Sag reading this week. Um, I'm like, all right, well, be careful, be cautious. I mean, I think that goes without saying. But we got serious action incoming for whether it's you doing it, whether it's someone else doing it. This energy is seizing the day. And that's the peculiar thing to me because, I love Libra energy. I get along so great with Libra energy because I'm an Aries. And usually this is what I pick up from Aries energy, honestly. Usually Libras are much more cautious and patient. This energy is not. It gets explosive action, serious action, whatever damn label we want to put on it. It's like, but the end is still the same. It's like we're moving towards the same result, not waiting. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. I'm not sure why this energy feels so hyped up and rushed, but if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Six of Cups with the Five of Cups in the upright. Could be an empathetic thing where it's like you feel what someone else is going through, so there could be someone you care for that might be going through a difficult time, and it's like I'm feeling what they feel. But for another portion of you, there's like this little energy of regret of some kind coming from somewhere. Not saying it's you. Into the middle, we have the Knight of Swords with the Star in reverse. This is that seize the day action that I've been speaking about, where it's like, hey, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Boom, I'm just going to do it. That the star that day might never come, so I'm just going to make it happen. It's someone just diving in and making something happen. It feels rushed for some reason, so I still think there should be a cautious approach. But even with the more cautious approach with the King of Swords and Temperance in reverse, either this is like serious action or even explosive with the fire air combination where it's like the energy's not waiting. The energy's doing something. It's seizing the day. So I think that can be great for a lot of you, but for others, just be careful with it because it's like you're not running out of time. You're not losing time. Like you got plenty of time. There's no need to rush something. But please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my lovely Libras. What's happening? And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. Let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What do we got for the lovely Libras? Strength. That is an energy of resistance in its shadow sense. Now, strength is Leo energy. So if you're connected to Leo, this could be them showing up. And normally when I see strength, I think of someone's internal strength, right? Not the physical, the internal. Someone's character, who they are as a person, what makes them them. And I normally like it quite a bit. It's also a beautiful angelic energy like we have here in the spread. But its shadow side, it can represent giving in to something or resisting too hard. So it could be either or, depending on what you're going through. Because when I see strength, it's like, no, 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 I can't. It's like an energy that's resisting. But this can also be an energy that's like, I'm not resisting anymore. I'm just gonna whatever happens, happens. So that's just an energy to watch out for, especially when we combine it with all the energy we saw within the main part of the spread. All right, so we're going to put strength down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.